Functional writing in an A1 German exam. How do you go about that? Welcome back to our channel. My name is Rikan Dugolovi. I'm your German teacher here at Dream Languages and Adult Literacy. And yeah, I'm glad to come back with now the sixth chapter, sixth topic on the 10 that I talked about that I'll be giving you in these tutorials. So we've already covered how to introduce yourself, how you ask and answer questions in the exams, how you make commands and requests, and the selected topics actually that you need to pass the A1 exam. Now, I would love to tell you the sixth topic, which is functional writing. What is that? Now, functional writing. Of course, functional writing here in A1, we are only talking about email writing. Email writing. How do you write an email? Of course, you know what an email is, yeah? An email, electronic mail. You know what a mail is. Simply sending a message by manner of text, just like you can send a WhatsApp text or something. But here, you have to send an email. Now, there are two types of emails that you have to know before you come to the exam. We have what we call the informal email, okay? And there is what we call the formal email, okay? So the informal email, that one you write it to your friends, people you know very well, okay? Your friends. Of course, in German language, uh, the tone and the formality is very, very, very important. How you address someone above you, like your superior, is different from how you address your inferior or actually people that are your peers. For example, you've heard me say, Wie heißen Sie? And you've heard me say, Wie heißt du? And I told you that Wie heißen Sie, that is a formal question. Wie heißt du? That is an informal question. So what does that really mean? It means when it comes to the functional writing, you have to be aware of what you're writing about and whom you are writing to. So are you writing to your boss? Then that is a formal email. Are you writing to your friend? Then that is an informal email. So we are going to look at, before we go into the types of the emails, the informal and the formal, you must first understand the types, the parts of emails. What are the parts that you need to know? See, an email must have what we call unreader. These words are very important to mention because some of you cram and you find someone has written in as part of their writing, Lieber Anreader. Be like, what is this gentleman or lady writing about? So, Anreader, that is like a salutation. The way you can say, dear. Maybe you say, dear sir or madam. Okay. So, Anreader. So, the Anreader, there are different ways. So, this is a salutation. So, this stands for a salutation. Okay. I'm going to show you which salutations we need. So allow me to use it concurrently. So the unreader, the informal one we have, usually we use lieber if you're writing to a gentleman with ara, lieber. And if you're writing to a lady, you say liebe without ara. So lieber, lieber, lieber. So for example, lieber Regan, you're writing to a gentleman. Liebe Sandra, you're writing to a lady. See that? So Liebe Regan, but Liebe Sandra. So this is how you write. Now, for the formal one, we use sehr geehrter. Sehr geehrter, and you put the title. So for me, sehr geehrter Herr Dugolovi. Let me use the German words, German names. Sehr geehrter Herr Schmidt. Sehr geehrter Herr Schmidt. That is like, dear Mr. Schmidt. Schmidt. So then this one, sehr geehrte maybe Frau Schleier. So these are the ways you can write. This is informal, Liebe Regan, Liebe Sandra. Formal, sehr geehrter with R, sehr geehrter without R. So when writing to a gentleman, there is R. Another mistake people do, this mistake actually carries on up to B2. Most of you come and you put here an N and say, sehr geehrter Herrn Schmidt. This is wrong. Okay, for A1, I don't need to explain this, but in our future videos, probably in B1 and so on, we shall learn something called N declination, and I'll explain to you why you don't have to put an N here. But for now, you just need to understand that when you're writing, you just say Herr, not Herrn. Okay, so sehr geehrter Herr Schmidt, sehr geehrte Frau Schleier, then lieber Regan, lieber Sandra. So this is our unreader. That is already a mark, okay? That's already a mark by just understanding these things. Number 2, now you must tell us why you're writing. So this now makes the part of the Inhalt. Inhalt is now the content that is inside there. What are you writing about? Now this one depends on the question. I'm going to come to that after. Number 3, which is the last part of this email writing, is the actually not the last, there's now the Schluss, actually. Schluss, that is the conclusion. How do you conclude about this? And number 4, you must put the Gruß formel or the Gruß. Like you have to, the way you say in English, yours sincerely, yours faithfully, stuff like that. How do we say that? So allow me to skip 2 and 3 to first show you what is in 4. So this was 1. Now number 4, on the informal side, you write, for example, liebe Grüße, okay? Or you can say viele Grüße, you can say herzliche Grüße, okay? Herzliche Grüße, something like that. Or you can even use what I'm going to show you here. Here you can say, most of the times I advise people to say mit freundlichen Grüßen. Mit freundlichen Grüßen. Mit freundlichen Grüßen. Then after writing these words, you put your name, you the writer, okay? You put the name. For example, mit freundlichen Grüßen, Regan Rugolobi, okay? Or liebe Grüße, Regan Rugolobi. That is how you end, like yours sincerely, Rugolobi Regan, okay? So mit freundlichen Grüßen or liebe Grüße depends on whether it's formal or informal. Now, another thing for some learners, you can use this word, Hochachtungsvoll. Hochachtungsvoll. It's the same as mit freundlichen Grüßen. Hochachtungsvoll. I'll not explain it today, but that's it. Then you put your name. Now, going back to these things. So, you know what you put in the salutation, you know what to put in the Grußformel. So, the other stuff is, now the Inhalt. The Inhalt comes from the question. Probably they've told you to invite a friend for maybe dinner, or maybe for spazieren gehen, or maybe for maybe Ausflug, whichever. So you have to tell someone why you're telling them. Now, or if it is maybe formal, there's this famous question of you want to go to Dresden and now you have to write to the Reiseveranstalter, to ask information about Kultur, about hotel, about information like that. So you must write now the formal email. So the nature of the question determines whether it's going to be formal or informal. So after knowing those things, you now can start. So if it's formal, you can say sehr geehrte Damen und Herren. That is because you don't know whether it's one or many, and don't know whether they are men or female. So there, that's where you say Herren. Sehr geehrte Herren und Damen. I'll give you an example of the formal one. Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren. Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren. So the question has told you that you want to visit Dresden in August. So it'd be like, for example, in August Im August möchte ich Dresden besuchen. Besuchen. Then you ask the information. Können Sie mir bitte Informationen über Hotels, äh, Hotels und Kultur, maybe schicken, okay? Yeah. Wie viel, you can ask maybe. So, wie viel kosten die, maybe die Reisekarten nach Dresden. It depends on how the question is anyway. You just need to be creative. Then after you're done with whatever you're writing about the Schluss you write, you can say, you can say, for example, ich freue mich auf Ihre Antwort. I'm looking forward to your answer. Then you conclude mit freundlichen Grüßen. So mit freundlichen Grüßen. Then you write your name, Regan Du Golobi. And you have yourself 10 marks of writing. So that is the formal one. And if it is informal, then you just have to edit these things. Maybe they have told you to write to your friend to invite maybe him for maybe a band essence. So you're going to say, maybe I'm inviting Joseph. Lieber Joseph, okay, okay. Ich möchte dich zum Abendessen einladen. Okay. Hast du heute maybe 17 Uhr Zeit? Okay. Ja. Wenn ja, bitte komm. Okay. Bitte komm zu uns. Okay. Fürs Abendessen. Du solltest nichts mitbringen. You shouldn't bring anything. Yeah? Du solltest nichts mitbringen. Nur viel Hunger und eine gute Laune. You shouldn't bring anything, only a lot of hunger, and good mood. Then you say, ich freue mich schon auf dich. Ich freue mich schon auf dich. I'm so eager to see you. Then you say, viele liebe Grüße. Lugolobi Regan, and you have 10 marks. So it's not hard, but you have to master this with practice. So you must attempt different questions, and of course we mark. If you have challenges with email writing, please state them in the comment section, and we shall be glad to help you. I'm leaving you homework. Write an email inviting your teacher to your birthday. Yeah, you write an email to your teacher inviting her to your birthday. Put the answers in the comment section, and we shall assess them and give you your results within no time. See you next time. Cheers.